But I say right after this, we have you guys make copies and each one of you try this individually, right? Real time is what I'm going to suggest. Okay, let me go back over here. So now what else have I got? I've got, I think this might be deposit right here, I. So I'm going to put that in for I. I might be wrong. All right.
Oh, at the top, you just put the column number in there.
Correct. Just put the column, yes, the column designation in there, and you can always change it. If I did the wrong one here, right, I could just change it to B, and it would go back and fix it, or I could change it back to A. Whoops.
Gotcha.
Do that. This one, make A again. There. All right, so now let's get to yours. Let me keep going back to the instructions tab. So still on input tab, let's do the exclude column. This is what you're waiting for, David. So look at this. See the exclude column that it highlighted for me when I clicked from the instructions? So just make this exclude. And I'm going to exclude all this other stuff too. So I'm going to drag it down here. There, you see that?
And if you scroll, because I'm seeing part of your screen, actually that's I is the last column. I mean BM is the last column.
Yes.
Okay. So there's no other. So the ones you excluded, everything's 0 up there, correct?
I think so. We'll see that in a second. I'll show you the next screen. You're going to like the next screen, I think. So it looks like, see, future residents. I'm going to exclude all this stuff too. I don't want any of this. This is down at the bottom, by the way. I just scrolled down to the bottom. Well, it's a big rent roll.
You lost me right there.
I scrolled down at the bottom. See how I'm at row 1600 over here, David?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This rent roll has 1650 plus rows. I'm all the way at the bottom, and I'm excluding, you know how they'll do different things on the rent roll where they'll add up stuff. I'm excluding all that. I just now have left the rent roll only. If you scroll up through what's left, it's just the rent roll now.
Got you. Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great. So you only have 1,500 now instead of.
Right. Yeah, thank goodness. Can you imagine me doing this the old way? Okay, now we go to rent map. Here's where the genius starts kicking in. The rent map allows you to identify out of all the charge codes and the associated charges, which ones are rent. So out of all these, there's only one that's rent, and it's this one.
Yeah, because all the other charges are already on the T12, right? So we don't have to worry about it.
With one exception. What is rent plus?
Rent. Rent plus. That's a good question.
What is rent plus? Let me find one here. Let's do control find.
Could that be pet rent?
Well, they have pet rent on there.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Rent plus down there. Here it is here. $14.95. That sounds like a rental insurance, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Rent plus storage, rent plus. Yeah, $14.95. That sounds like a renter's insurance charge.
But do you think it could be something like trash pickup or something?
It's extra. It's definitely not core rent. So on the rent map, I'm going to leave just this rent. I'm only going to mark rent as rent. Fair enough?
Yep.
So now when I go back to instructions,
Oh, what
I'm gonna
about
go.
MTM? Is that a type of rent, or is that an extra charge because they're month to month?
Yeah, MTM is going to be an extra charge, and that should be in the other income already on the T12.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so let's go to unit type. This one's where it's going to get a little bit hairy for us. I don't know for sure what these are. Let's see how these say 1 on them. These say 2, 3, 1, 1.
Mhm.
Could this be?
But the OM doesn't have those codes on it. But they do have a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, that's 17 units. Then they have 1 bedroom, 1 bath plus a den, that's 37 units. Then they got 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and a 4 bedroom bath.
So see if this looks right. This is a 1, so I think 1, 1. This is a 2, so I think it's a 2, 2. I see a D on this one. See this one, D1? That might be a 1, 1 den.
Yeah, if they have a den.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to separate out 1, 1 den. You know? I don't think that is on here. There's no 1, 1 den.
Unless you see a bigger size unit. Probably.
Well, so is there a 1, 2, David?
No, this is a 1, 1 and a 1, 1 plus a den. Then it goes to 2 bedrooms.
Okay. So this one must be the 1, 1 plus a den. Although it's got a B in there as in boy. That's weird. So this is do they give designations like a VHV, VHLV, HB1 in the memorandum?
No, I don't see it.
So that's going to be a problem with this property. We'd have to do some research to nail down which these are. Let's say I knew, and let's say that this was 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. This looks like a 3, 1. I don't know what this is, a 1, 1 something, maybe 1, 1 renovated or something, right? So now when I go back to instructions, and then I go to the output summary, here's what it does for me. Just out of curiosity, David, what are the unit counts on the 1, 1 and the 1, 1 den?
So the 1, 1 is 39 units. The 1, 1 den is 16 units. The 2 bedroom, 1 bath is 61. Actually, they got 2 separate 2 1s, one different square footage size. So one of the 2 1s is 61 units. The other 2 1 is 46 units. Then there's a 2 2, 84 units. Then a 3 2, 58 units. And then they got a 4 2, that's 4 units.
So I can almost start to figure it out. Let's see. Let's do 1, 1 here. Did I call that a 1, 1R?
So the one that has 58 units, that's a 58 units is a 3 2. And so we could look at the unit count there on the output and determine which one's which.
Yeah, I almost had it and then I forgot it. Anyway, it's too complicated, I think,
So
for me to
much
sort
when you're
through.
doing something like this and it's not straightforward. Wouldn't you get confused in doing this, or maybe underwrite it wrong?
Well, so I would use there's a lot of times when the rent roll, the codes, you just can't tell, you know, the property manager has decided that that code works for them, but it's, you know, like a foreign language to us. So
Right.
for example, David said 31 1s, right? And I got S labeled as 39 right now.
Right.
But are those David 900 square feet?
No, so the 39s are
Okay.
1 1s. Those are 1 1s. Those are just the ones without the den.
Okay.
Yeah. And are those 900 square feet?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, see, I have them labeled wrong as S, but I've got the 900 square feet. And so therefore I have the total of 35,100 square feet. And I've got
Yeah.
the market rent average of 807. And I've got the total market rent to be 31,485. Those numbers are accurate. I just have them in the wrong buckets, which I can go back and correct if I was willing to sort through enough right now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's
So
easy for me to just keep clicking on the different ones until I line them up. So I see 39, I see 20, I see 61 and 46. All those are ones David read off that I could then code correctly and go back through and do it. So I could get this one right. It would just take me a little bit more thinking. Because I'm going to make mine match theirs, at least in unit count, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so then if we go to output, range copy.
Where's outputs?
Look at that. It even highlights it for us.
oh wow, so then you just copy that and put it in the underwriting template?
Correct. You say copy. And the underwriting template is new too. So let me rename one of these underwriting templates. Copy, copy. Where is it here? Dave working copy, syndication sim. I'm going to rename this 04 Max. Yeah, I still don't see it open all the way. There it goes. Finally, it opened all the way.
You mentioned output. I did not see where you got output from.
Let me try this one more time. This is the Google network speed test. Well, I should have plenty of speed. That's not too bad. All right. Well, that's not too bad. It should be working better than this. So I think you said, Charmaine, where did I do the output? Just
Yes.
keep going back to the instructions. So see this instructions tab down here in the bottom left?
Yes.
Keep coming back here. And I just went to step 8. And I just went to, you hover over it, it opens down to the right, and then I clicked it, and it took me to this output tab and highlighted it.
Okay.
And notice it didn't highlight the header, so it highlighted nicely for me. I can right click and say copy. And if I unhighlighted it, let's say I messed it up, I would go back to the instructions again and follow the link back rather than try to highlight it myself. It's way easier to do the 2 clicks than to try to highlight whatever I need to highlight because it's already set up for that. Then go back to my underwriting template, go to the Property 1 Test Rent Roll tab. Now this one shows me pasting here, which is kind of weird. I don't think I paste there. I think I paste here. And I may learn something new right here that maybe David set this up and I'm violating the setup. But now when I go back to the Prop 1 Test tab here,
Oh, 12. All right, start there.
See them all right there?
Mm-hmm.
They're all in. And so I kind of belabored this one a little. But, and then remember, this one's set off right now. Oh, he even made this one turn on. Did he do that? Wow, that's good. Because see how this one's now on over here? Because now we did the full rent roll, this should be on. If we didn't want to use this, we didn't want to go through this process, we'd go back up here, turn this guy on.
I'd use the OM.
And he's the OM, right? And we could always go through and just copy what they did, and we could have skipped this whole rent roll rigmarole, right? But at some point, you need both options. So if you're going the longer route, definitely this new rent roll converter. You guys remember me making those videos where I spent 2 hours, you know, massaging the rent roll into something I can add up, right?
Yeah.
And now, yeah, go ahead.
What? So why are some of the columns green and then some of them are, I don't know if that's orange or yellow or what. My eyes are messed up, but I see different colors here. What does that mean?
I don't know. I got to ask David.
Okay.
I think he was using it for something future, but I don't know right now. The short answer is I don't know yet. I don't know yet, David. We have to use the power of the yet.
Okay.
So, and then, you know, this is where we get to the renovation schedule. And now I can start to run through and see how many of these I'm going to renovate. And this is a big property, 308 units.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now I can start to see how many of these I'm going to renovate each year, you know, and probably I would just come up with somewhere like 40, right? How many can I do? It's a big property. So I would do 20 and 20. There's my 40 in the first year. And then I would go to second year and do another 40. So I'd do 38 and 2. And I don't know that this is the way I'd renovate them, but this is a 2-2. Yeah, I'd probably try to renovate the 2-2s first, but you're guessing at this, right? Because you can only renovate as they come open.
Available, right?
Yeah, you don't know what's going to come available. Some part of this is making a good guess. Really, there's no other way around this. I'm an estimator, right? In construction, they call it an estimator. And an estimator can do a pretty good job of getting close, but they're using all sort of their abilities to all their experiences to say what can be done. I don't know if we're going to hold this much past the 5th year, right? So if this is 40, we do 25 and 15 here. That's probably good enough to start to run the pro forma on this one, David. And now you can start to get to that next part of the path. Additional loss to lease for units below market.
What do you say is like a decent amount to project that you're going to renovate? A decent, how many units do you project to renovate each year, like to be conservative when you're underwriting?
I think if it's a big market like Dallas and you know you can get the construction crews in there, or you have experience in that part of the country and you know the contractor that you can call to do it, that's going to set your limits. If it's me and it's 308 and I have no idea, I know where this property is right now, I would put in 40 because it's some number that seems reasonable. Out of 308 units, that let's say 15% turnover a year. That would be 45 turnover a year. So I'm right in there at 40 units a year to renovate. I'm really doing my renovations based on turnovers because I'm not going to kick anybody out. I want the rent.
Right.
So say 15% turnover a year. That's kind of a pretty good number. And it might be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the area and the property. But that's not a bad guess for just completely guessing.
What's your thoughts on when lease renewals come up? Instead of renewing it for a year, put them on month to month. So if you need them to go to renovate, if the rents are really low.
Yeah, it's a nice feature. And it's nice if the seller has already started that process, knowing that that's what the next buyer is going to do. You know, a lot of times we properties from syndicators, and syndicators buy properties from syndicators. There's a little bit of a thing here where we have to help each other keep our business going, right? So syndicators buy from syndicators. So you don't want to renovate all 308 units. You want to renovate 25%, 20%. You just want to prove the concept, really.
Mm.
and you want to leave that thing called meat on the bone, right? As long as I can keep some meat on the bone, then the next guy can come in and buy it and make his money too. And all of us make money through fees, right? We do it through management, fees, buying, and selling.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is, that it pays the investors their money, right? So the system works. On some level, we have to keep the system going. Sounds very Illuminati-ish when I say it this way, but you know, it's what are you going to say? I mean, if you flipped a house, right, and you renovated it, if Tyler does his house and sells it for, what are you going to sell for? $1,050,000?
Between that and 1.1.
And so if the next guy literally can come in and buy the house from Tyler for 1.1, renovate it to an A class where Tyler just did a B class, because I don't know what you guys do in a renovation for 150, but that's not much money to renovate. That's not an A class renovation, is it? That's a B class renovation, right? That's not, is that?
We're talking about Lawndale next.
So see, that's the crazy part about LA. I mean, you know, Lawndale is, you know, just a year out of the ghetto, you know. It's just a year ago that was the ghetto, and now it's you know, gentrification, right? So, but you're not, so theoretically the next buyer could buy from you at $1,000,001 and put 300,000 into it and sell it for 1.5, depending on the market conditions. I don't think it's going to happen with that property, but it could be possible. It could be possible, given inflation. You know, President Biden just keeps printing money, and now a dollar is worth 50 cents. You have to sell it for double. It jumps from 1.1 to 2.2. Boom. It's now possible for the next guy and the next guy and the next guy to keep buying it. In fact, if you project inflation at that rate, somebody could keep buying this indefinitely, and every single person make their money back. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we just signed a lease. I had to sign a lease moving in to one of my units, and the holdover on it. So if they want to renew the lease another year after this lease is up, so this lease they're coming in at 8, and if they was to hold over and renew it next year in 2023, it's going to be $950. So that's like over 20% jump, and they signed it.
Yeah, because they might be smart.
Yeah,
You might be able to rent that for $1,500.
that's crazy. I hope so.
And they're gonna get it. No, they're gonna get it for $950 because they got the renewal.
Yeah, the renewal. Yeah.
They just made a good. In fact, they could sublease it, which you won't let them, but they could, you know, sublease it out for $1,500 and pay you the $950, and still.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, what are you guys practicing this week? I know it's hard, but you got to force yourself to do 2 underwriting a week, and you got to force yourself into these new tools, even though it's uncomfortable and a lot of times messy.
Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is because I've been focused on the team and adding deals to the team, but what I'm gonna do is because they're focused on large deals, I'm gonna focus on smaller deals to add here and work on here, and then I want to practice that rent roll conversion as well as keep practicing with the pro forma, the projections on the underwriting template. See if I can figure that out.
All right, and
I'll be texting or calling you, Max.
okay. And let's try to plan ahead of time. Maybe we should I think we have a text group formed. If not, we just put one in our phone and go, hey, what is the property we're looking at this week? And maybe we can all run through the rent roll and the T12 together and get a little bit more out of this.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, and I'll restart my computer beforehand, maybe try to be more prepared for this so we can get more done.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that idea of preemptively setting up a plan, and I think that'll smooth things along.
So if Charmaine, I'm not sure how we're going to do it. I know what we want to do. I'm not sure how we're going to pull it off. Somebody needs to go, hey, I'm uploading a file folder, and this one could be a really good one for us all to try. Even though you don't know it's going to work out, that's fine. It's just one that we all try together and see if we can do the different parts to it.
Well, I'm gonna just jump on another computer and try to upload this one and see.
Okay.
I know I'm
Underwriting, the smaller properties are messier, you know. They've got less clean T12s and less clean rent rolls. So it's actually easier to underwrite the larger properties. They're cleaner.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's what we should do. I'm just saying
I
that's a
understand.
sort of a,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, I think you need to underwrite what you're interested in. So David, I'm not trying to discourage you. Do the small ones and let's underwrite them. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hold up your numbers. I learned this from my new integrator, Mark. He's like, hold at the count of 3, hold up the number of fingers that you rate the meeting. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. All right. Awesome, you guys. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you later, Max. I probably won't be able to attend tomorrow, but I'll see you guys.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't